Folks, close your eyes for a few seconds. Can you smell it? That sharp bitterness of half-burned diesel smoke, the metallic tang of rusted iron filings, and the heavy heat radiation pouring out from thick slabs of cast iron. You are not standing in a quiet museum. We are diving straight into the dissection bay of brutally powerful machines. Welcome back, grease-blooded crew, to the engine history. Today, forget the silent electric units or polished plastic-covered designs. Prepare your eardrums to measure the most violent, extreme, and primitive mechanical entities ever cast from fire and solid steel. Get them onto the test stand. Watching these metal masses shudder under load, you begin to understand a machining philosophy that has vanished in the 21st century. Machines were cast to work forever, not to lose their specifications after a few years. Engineers of the past did not rely on electronic circuit boards. They used calipers, sledgehammers, and instinct to weld and shape multi-ton engine blocks into tireless, load-forcing machines. Whether buried deep in dark mines or stuck in muddy fields, they would keep biting into revs as long as there was a single drop of fuel left. If you are addicted to the smell of heat-resistant grease and fascinated by massive inertia-driven rotations, hit subscribe to the Engine History right now. Your follow is the highest pressure stream of pumped oil that helps the team track down these brutally powerful steel relics. Opening the session is a northern giant, the 1912 Monk-Tells semi-diesel block. At a time when electrical grids were still a luxury, this hot bulb engine served as a brutally effective power station for Swedish sawmills. With no electric starter in sight, mechanics had to clamp a gasoline blowtorch onto the cylinder head and heat it red hot for a full 15 minutes. When the cast iron expanded into a glowing red mass, the mechanic threw his entire body weight onto the massive flywheel to drag it past compression dead center. A sharp, cracking exhaust burst erupted from the engine, locked into its power cycle. With a 10-liter displacement, it generated a terrifying torque band at extremely low revolutions. Watch the solid steel connecting rod, as thick as a thigh, hammer up and down violently, splashing blackened lubricating oil everywhere, and you will fully grasp the savage workhorse endurance of 1912. Now, force your eardrums to adapt to the brutality known as the Detroit Diesel 6V53T, cast in 1957. Nicknamed the Screaming Jimmy, this two-stroke V6 paired with a supercharger once carried the entire heavy transport industry on its back. Igniting with every piston stroke and combined with a brutally forced Roots supercharger, it unleashes a piercing, high-pitched scream that tears through the workshop. engineers abandoned smoothness to extract maximum compression force. Look closely at the oil stains smeared across the engine walls. Mechanics have a saying, if a Detroit engine is not leaking oil, it means it has run out of oil. That residue is a steely logbook recording tens of thousands of hours of relentless, power-draining labor from a true legend. Move the test stand toward a pair of stationary hit-and-miss engines, the 1.75 horsepower Associated Chore Boy and the 1914 Fairbanks Morse Z. These machines worked day and night, pumping water. Their defining specification lies in the centrifugal governor. When engine speed exceeds its limit, centrifugal force pushes the weighted arms outward, locking the exhaust valve and cutting ignition.
Still got the original style plate on it. Have to make up an exhaust cap yet.
The engine then coasts freely on flywheel momentum without burning a drop of fuel. When speed drops, the mechanism releases and fires a sharp, ear-cracking exhaust burst. The cycle repeats with precise tolerance. Watching the spinning governor weights squeeze every drop of fuel efficiency, you cannot help but respect this minimalist mechanical philosophy. Closing today's test stand is the ultimate torque monster, the Rolls-Royce Meteor V12. Cast in 1943. This 27-liter V12, originally designed for fighter aircraft, was re-engineered by British engineers and dropped straight into the Cromwell tank to tear through the battlefield. When it bites into revs in a stationary test, the massive solid cast flywheel absorbs the full impact from 12 V-arranged cylinders. Air is violently drawn into the carburetor, blasting a face-scorching gust. The ground beneath trembles, sending shockwaves up through your feet. Once stabilized, all 12 pistons fire in perfect synchronization, producing a deep, growling sound, smooth yet packed with destructive pressure. When the fuel injection is cut off, the flywheel slowly winds down under inertia. Silence returns to the test stand, yet the heavy heat radiation and thick diesel scent still saturate the workshop air. These machines may be rusted and weather-worn, but they carry a core toughness that modern circuit-based systems can never replicate. Every machining tolerance, every cam angle is laid bare 100% under the eyes of mechanics. Thank you for staying through today's test session. Which do you respect more, the screaming roar of the Detroit diesel or the torsional force of the V12? Drop your specifications into the comments for the crew to examine. See you again in the next load testing, rev crushing session.